Goedemorgen from warm South Africa. I'm Dr. Ali Halajian, raised and born in Iran, but it's about 9 years that I'm working in South Africa. First, let me thank the organizers for organizing such a nice gathering, discussion, meeting. I think this is the second time that is happening, and it's a great initiative. And thanks for inviting me to give a short talk. I actually wasn't working on ticks and tick-borne pathogens until 4 years ago, when I got the tick bite fever myself. And that was a great feeling, and that was a great motive and push for me to read about it. And then I found there is a gap in country, and I started some projects that has very nice results so far. I would like to divide my talk to 4 parts. The first part about the ticks themselves, the second part about tick-borne pathogens, One Health concept, the way forward. Talking about ticks, we all know that ticks are very important. Ticks have been the first arthropods that were established as vectors of pathogens. Together with mosquitoes, ticks are the main vectors of disease agents to human and animals globally. And so there is nothing else to add to the importance of the ticks. So there are some factors about the ticks that we need to consider in our studies about the ticks, like distribution of the ticks. How are they distributed in country, in which part of the country, which species are more abundant, in which part of the country, in which animals they are more abundant. That is so important. Then considering the importing of animals, if I want to give an example, in South Africa we never had Rhipicephalus microplus or Rhipicephalus boophilus microplus. But then through the importing of the cattle from abroad, the tick was introduced to the country, then it's established, and now in most parts of the country we can see the tick. So looking at the animals that imported, looking at the health certificates, legislations about them, looking at the quarantine legislations of the country. These are important matters. Looking at aliens, example of South Africa. South Africa is the 3rd most biodiverse country of the world, but when it comes to number of aliens, we have about 154 species of aliens in South Africa. So when aliens are introduced to a country, they can bring also microorganisms with them, either pathogenic, either non-pathogenic. So knowing about them, in Iran also we have alien animals, alien organisms like raccoon, for instance, in northern Iran. We need to consider them, we need to do research on them. Considering climate change, there has been some research that has shown that climate change can affect also the ticks. And actually this is for the benefit of the ticks. With climate change we will have more ticks and more diseases, and shifts in the habitable range of the ticks will occur globally. And considering the wildlife, the amount of research that we need to do on the wildlife to see which ticks they have, which tick-borne pathogens they have, that's so important, especially in some of our borders in Iran. Wildlife are moving freely from Iran to other countries. They can transport the ticks, and we can have new ticks or new tick-borne pathogens. Migration, especially migratory birds, they can transport ticks. I was looking at one article in Turkey that they looked at the ticks, that the birds that are using Turkey in their migratory routes, and how can they transport ticks. That's something that we need to look at it in Iran. We also get a lot of migratory birds in Iran. And of course, seasonality of ticks, in which seasons which ticks are more prevalent. This is also very important for pharmaceutical companies. When they know in which season which tick species is more prevalent, and that tick species which disease is coming, they can aim better to have the products ready for the farmers in the specific time of the year. That's so important. So talking about the second part, tick-borne pathogens, fortunately for us, unfortunately for the human population of the world, the importance of tick-borne diseases is increasing. There are many factors that are mentioned, like global warming, like environmental changes, but it seems that it's a complex matter still. We don't know why exactly tick-borne diseases are increasing globally. Maybe the amount of research is more. Again, when it comes to tick-borne diseases, knowing about their distribution, which part of the country we have, why do we have in that part of the country, why, for example, CCHF in Iran is more prevalent around Charmahal, Bakhtiyari and Isfahan provinces, then doing surveys, having clear aims and objectives, those are so important. And this type of research and this type of thinking must be in different levels of nationally, regionally and internationally. We cannot leave any of them. We need to consider all these three levels. So the third part of my talk will be the One Health concept. Actually, One Health concept or One Health strategy is a new strategy that has been introduced in recent years, and it's sort of a hot topic around the world. We actually in South Africa, as part of a consortium of 6 universities from South Africa and 2 universities from Europe, last year we applied for a European Union grant, 1 million euros, just to do empowering South Africa about One Health. That empowerment is the first step, just to tell people first what is One Health, and then in later stages we will do the actual research. So One Health concept, as many of you may know, it's talking that the compartment of animal health, human health and environmental health, they are entangled together, they are related together. You can't look at one of them without considering all the three. So for most diseases, especially zoonotic diseases, you need to look at all these three compartments. You need to have a broad view on the role of all these three compartments to be able to understand better. And this, having such a view, needs wide surveillance, needs using proactive and efficient methods, needs a lot of GIS mapping, playing with GIS, putting the ticks distribution on the map of Iran, looking at what's happening. That can open your mind, looking at the wildlife movements on the borders, looking at the migratory birds. That can bring a lot of ideas for research that I have discussed with some of you before. The fourth part of my talk is the way forward. Personally, I believe the most important step for way forward is science communication. We need to communicate the science that we already have produced with public, with ourselves, globally, internationally, regionally. And we need to use different methods. Science communication nowadays in some countries is a degree that you go to university and you get the certificate, because you need to use different languages, different methods. You can't talk the same with a farmer. The language that you use for a farmer is different with the language you use for a student, and you need to practice. You need to find a way to transfer the science using posters, banners, giving talks over radios, I don't know, short essays in local newsletters, empowerment programs for the farmers. That is so important. You know, just looking at the disease or the tick species, if you don't transfer those results to the public, won't be that much effective. And then considering One Health concept is also one of the things that please consider in your future research. That's a very important step that all the global looking at it, and we should also look at that. And attending international meetings is also very important. In August there will be a tick-borne tick and tick-borne pathogens conference in Romania that I hope some of you can attend, and after coming back transfer the results to other colleagues. And thank you so much for your attention. I hope I could give some insights in this short 10 minutes talk. And have a great day and enjoy the meeting.